Hey babe, I'm Brooke Jean, licensed therapist, coach, mama, and your straight talking guide to ditching the pressure and living a life unperfected. I've coached some of the top C-suite women in America, women leading $1 million companies while secretly falling apart. I've been her. I blend psychology, neuroscience, and energetics with lived experience to help high-achieving women actually heal so that they can access their limitless energy, creativity, and vitality. So if you're a perfection-obsessed woman who's checked every damn box, career, family, house, 401k, but still feels low-key dead inside, you're in the right place. Here, we rip off the good girl mask, call out the BS, and build a life that actually feels like yours. We're talking healing, we talk revealing, we talk rising, and we do it raw, real, and unfiltered. Hello, 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 my love. Welcome back to the Unperfected Pod. I'm Brooke Jean, your host, and I'm so happy and grateful that you're here. I have a little discussion that I want to have with you, my virtual bestie, today. But before we get into that, I want to say that I have some amazing guests coming up on the show. So last week I had my girl Olivia, Liv, on the show talking about, her divorce and being a somatic divorce coach. That conversation was effing epic. If you haven't listened to it, go back. But I'm looking at my June calendar right now, and I have, oh my gosh, next Monday, Jen Morris. The following, Michelle, my girl Dana. I have some extraordinary women coming on the show to talk about their story, their things they've overcome to find their mission and their truth and all of those things. And so I'm just excited to embark on a wave of guests on the show. So I wanted to make you guys aware of that. Okay, I'm noticing that I have like a stain on my really nice sweater dress. So that's cool. And speaking of guests, so this coming Monday, is that this coming Monday? No, this coming Monday, I'm having my girl Brooke Jean, the founder of Dance Alchemy, on the show. And she is going to tell us all about how dance helped her through grief and how she created it. But the Monday after that, my girl Jen Morris is coming on the show. And I think that's important to note because just today, she is the founder of Renegade Motherhood. And just today, I was at an event this morning because I love what she has created in terms of authentic, real connection for mothers who have businesses. Her group, her style, all of it is unlike anything I've ever seen in the networking world. And so I've joined her group and I've met so many beautiful women from her group. But she asked one of the questions that we were able to ask ourselves and then go and share in smaller groups is the topic of discussion today, because it sparked a large conversation that I had in my little group, and then I stood in front of the entire group, and now I'm standing in front of you because this is such a part of like what I believe and my mission and the Unperfected brand. So thank you to Jen Morris. Make sure y'all check out Renegade Motherhood. It's thebomb.com. But one of the questions that we were able to ask ourselves and therefore share in the group was, how are you breaking the rules? How are you breaking the rules? And so before I tell you how I'm breaking the rules, which is honestly the least important part of this conversation, I want to touch on why this question is so pertinent at this specific time. So I'm sure you guys can feel it in your nervous systems. So much is changing right now. And with the rise of AI, we are going to have to human more than we've ever humaned before. Like the qualities that make us humans, our energy, our intuition, our creativity, our connection, our joy, like all of that is going to be more important than ever. And so, because we are in this liminal space where the old way of being and working and all of that is definitely no longer a thing, but we are also not landed in the future where we are like fully integrated with AI and, everything is figured out. Like, I don't know if you guys can feel it, but so many structures are changing right now, right? Whether it is environmental, political, technology, the way that we relate, the way that we educate, the way that we work, it's all like changing, evolving right now. And so the first thing I want to say about that is it's really hard on the nervous system, right? So whether you're changing as an individual, changing in your marriage, changing in your family, changing at work, changing in your business, changing in your community, all of that change is considered a threat to your nervous system. So if you're feeling scared and uncertain and anxious and overwhelmed, I just want to say, like, that is to be expected. What is also true is that change gets to be exciting with the hard. We get to decide that something great is coming of all of this madness, right? And this isn't a conversation about whether AI is a good thing or not, because that's above my pay grade level, okay? I can't say if AI is the correct thing or the moral thing or whatever. That's not my place. What I can say is it's here, and it's here more than most of us realize, and it's going to affect us in some cases more than the web, right? The World Wide Web revolution. And so we are going to have to ground ourselves during this change, during this liminal space, so that we can create differently. So while everything is changing, this is also our opportunity to redefine success, to decide that as women and mothers, we can be successful and we can work different schedules and work differently. We can collaborate differently. We can create our own economies amongst each other if we need to. But we can't do that when we're pooping our pants because change is hard. So now more than ever, we need our nervous system regulation, we need our mindfulness, we need our breath work, we need our meditation, we need our dancing, we need our therapy, we need our yoga, we need all the things to help us stay in our bodies, ground and connect to the earth so that we can take advantage of this massive evolution that's happening, okay? And from that place of groundedness, we get to break the rules and do what's never been done. And that's the part that excites me. So for a long time, I have felt like a quote unquote rule breaker, right? I didn't want to commit to just therapy or just counseling. Therapy or coaching. I've been online as a therapist. I have 2 different baby dads and I had my kids 14 years apart. I left corporate America to follow my dreams. I just don't fit in a box. I'm creating my own lane. And here's the realization that I had today that I want to share with you. Because if you find yourself similar to me, where you don't want to be boxed in, you don't want to follow the rules, but you felt bad about that, you felt afraid of that, I want to say to you, you were actually just ahead of your time. So with the rise of AI, humans are going to need to human more than we ever have. And what I think that means for our businesses and our teams is that instead of following all the rules and the guidelines and whatever it is that we learned in grad school and getting the certification and the licensing boards, instead of staying strictly inside of that, it's time that we bring all of us to our clients. We bring our experience. We bring all of the trainings, all of the education. I'm a mom, my intuition. I have the psychological sophistication, but my style is to intuitively, like once I see where you want to go, to intuitively help you build the steps to get there. And instead of trying to stay in my lane, I'm done. I'm bringing all of me to my clients so that they can get the best outcome. But this is really hard for women. And why is that? Because women have been trained and conditioned to follow the rules. So when we feel like we're breaking a rule, it feels inherently wrong. But considering we're stepping into a realm, especially in the workforce, that we've never existed in before, we're going to need solutions that also have never existed before. And how can we do that when we're following the rules and we're staying in our lane? Now, with this conversation does come a level of responsibility. We can't be sloppy and messy and, offering products and services to people that we have no business doing so. But we do get to bring all of us to the work that we do. All of it. And so a couple of things I want to share with you. Number one, the world is changing, and so we're going to need solutions that actually match the change that we're going through. In order to have that, we need innovation. In order to innovate, we need to think out of the box. Okay? Men do this all the time and get praised for it. Can you imagine the first person that thought of fast food restaurants? Just because it's never been done and it's bringing a couple of things together doesn't make it wrong. Think about who created Uber. I feel like I should know that. Who created Uber? There was, this and there was that, but somebody had the audacity to say, well, why can't we do this? If we stay in our lane and we follow the rules, we are suffocating innovation. And now more than ever, guys, we get to innovate. And I believe as women, we have some of the most creative juices on the planet. We understand people. We know what they need. We can sense it. We can feel it. But if we're so busy following rules, we're going to limit our ability to take advantage of this time. And so I am here to awaken that part of you that is a rebel, that is audacious, that doesn't want to be boxed in, that's ready to break the rules, because honey, this is her time to shine. This is her time to shine. So what does that actually look like, right? I think for the first thing is in alignment with our brand, Unperfected. It's being unapologetically you. Being unapologetically you and bringing all of you to all that you do, right? So I just did a reel that I just posted today on I don't want to hear men tell women to stop being emotional at work anymore. Because what I've discovered is, yes, sometimes we're emotional at work, and sometimes that isn't coming from our most grounded, higher self, what I call the inner CEO. Sometimes that is coming from reaction, a protective part, whatever. P.S., women are not the only ones who do that, okay? The hissy fits that I see men having when things don't go their way, stop it. And if men had to deal with what we deal with as women, periods, hormonal imbalances, dried, cracked, bloody nipples from breastfeeding, staying up all night with our kids, perimenopause, menopause, all of it. I trust me, they'd be emotional too. But but in a lot of cases, it's not even that we're being emotional. It's that we're being energetically aware. And so instead of just utilizing the limitations of our thinking mind, which, if you recall, I've shared with you guys, your thinking mind is only 0.5 to 5% of your operating system. The other 95% of your operating system is your subconscious, the limbic system, the reptilian part of your brain, your body, and your energy body. Okay? As women, our energy bodies pick up on information. Our intuition picks up on information. And somehow that's been labeled woo-woo or witchcraft or wrong. No, not in these times. In these times, if we're going to bring all of ourselves to the yard, we get to bring our thoughts, feelings, intuitions, intuitive nudges, the things that we're sensing, the gifts that we have. For so long, so many of our gifts have been not only unacknowledged, but shit on. Like, how many of you, and I've said this before, but how many of you have gotten a raise or a bonus because of your intuition? But my intuition can pick up on something that is going to save your company $200,000. My intuition is going to help me cut through the noise to get to the root issue that you're ready to work on in healing and coaching, so you're not wasting 2 years of your life trying to find it. My intuition can sense what's not being said, and that is a superpower. So we have to be unapologetically ourselves, and we have to normalize and sharpen these gifts that have never been acknowledged in the workforce. As I'm thinking about how we're going to create systems, products, services in this new world with AI, we are absolutely going to need women's intuition and our subconscious. The limited thinking brain is only going to see so much. And so I shared in this reel today, I don't want to hear that a man is telling a woman to stop being emotional at work. F you. I'm not being emotional, I'm being energetically attuned. And just because you don't understand it, Billy Bob, doesn't make it wrong. But we got to get to know our own gifts and learn how to use them before we can actually articulate to Billy Bob, hey, I'm not being emotional. By the way, there isn't really that much, there isn't anything wrong with being emotional. I'm being energetically attuned. And just because you don't have that gift, or I believe everybody has the gift. It's just where you at in your journey of recognizing it and playing with it and amplifying it. Just because you haven't played with this before, please don't misunderstand me. Okay? So we've got to learn to be unapologetically authentic, right? No more shoulds and supposed tos. Bring all of you to the work that you do. Bring your crazy, bring your wild, bring your passion. And I know that you've been called too much and too loud and overconfident because of those things. But I don't care. We're still going to bring all of that energy to the yard, okay? With that, it's once you allow yourself to tap into the truth of who you are, well, let me back up. You might be saying, Brooke, how do we unearth our authenticity? How do we know if we're being real, if we're being who we are? Well, you got to spend time with yourself going inward to discover and uproot these things, right? So any of the mindfulness things are great at helping you get to know the truth of who you are. like meditation, breath work, all of that. I also think we have to heal our relationships with our bodies, because if we're at war with our body, when our body is such an instrument for communication and creativity, we're going to be blocked. We're going to be creatively constipated. So we've got to heal our relationship with our body so we can be in harmony with it. So we can, when we sense things and we feel things and we intuit things, we can actually hear them and listen and take action. Okay? And from there, honey, you get to decide who the F you want to be. You get to decide, I am a highly sensitive, intuitive leader who wants to lead big teams to magic, or who wants to create big things, or who wants to be known for this. So it's this combination of spending time with yourself to slow down your brain waves, regulate your nervous system, and allow your truth to bubble up. You can also do inner child work. I like doing things that you loved to do when you were little. That's why I'm dancing right now. It helps me connect to my authenticity, right? So you get to unearth those things. And then you get to decide, and I want to be a bad bitch who's like this. And you take daily action in alignment with that version of you. Okay? But it's hard for us as women because we don't know who we are. We're cut off from our bodies, and we've been told this lie that our gifts are too much, unproductive, whatever, all the things, intimidating, you name it. I've probably been called it. But what I really was, honey, is ahead of the times. Okay? Ahead of the times. Intuitively strong, energetically attuned. And these are the things that we need now more than ever. All right? So that's how you can begin to work on getting to know yourself. So I have a mastermind called Legend. And that whole process is about healing so that you can reveal the truth of who you really are, and then you can rise from that place of authenticity. It's about finding your voice. It's about reconnecting to your desires. It's about learning how to work with your intuition. It's about setting boundaries and creating from a place of truth, right? So, in order to create things that help form where the world is going with this AI, we're going to need all of you, babe. Not the shrunken good girl, rule follower, I stay in my lane girl. I need all of you. Give me your humor, give me your ideas, bring it to the table. We need it, okay? Because from that place of being authentic, you get to create your own lane, your own way of doing what you do. So whether you're a house cleaner, a teacher, a therapist, a CEO, whatever it is, whether you're in corporate and you have a team or you're an entrepreneur, I want you to be thinking like, where can I push the envelope and be more me? Where am I leaving a part of me at home? So if I'm in the corporate professional setting, am I wearing clothes that don't feel good on my body? Does my voice change in meetings? Am I not raising my hand and speaking up because I'm afraid of rejection? Am I not setting boundaries with my team because I'm afraid they're not going to come with me or like me? Like, where are you playing small in your world? And do not be afraid to bring true elements of who you are into the work that you do, right? So an example of that for me is I just want to make sure that I hope you guys can hear this. So an example for me is in therapy. When I'm giving therapy, I weave in humor. Yes, therapy is hard. Yes, therapy can be serious. Yes, we're doing serious work. And also, it doesn't have to be dry. We're allowed to laugh a little. So I bring my personality to the therapeutic work I do. I bring my style of once I know what you want, I am going to help you get there. That's who I am. That's how I show up with my kids, with my friends when I was running Target stores. So I'm going to do the same darn thing as a therapist. I'm not going to not share with you something I'm sensing and feeling and seeing you because as a therapist, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not going to not drink my water in session because as a therapist, I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not going to not show up online because a therapist is not supposed to do that, right? When I'm with a client, I'm going to be bringing Brooke Jean and her energy to the experience because I believe that if you're bringing all of you and I'm not bringing all of me, there's a mismatch there. But if you're freaking vulnerable and courageous enough to bring all of you, then honey, I am bringing all of me. And by the way, that all of me is my brand. It is my competitive edge. It is my differentiator. So many of us are watering down our brand image and who we are and what we stand for because we're trying to fit into a freaking box. We ain't doing it no more, honey. We ain't doing it no more. So, we're going to have to break some rules to keep up with the way the world is evolving. That is going to be challenging for many of us because we have been taught to stay in our lane, to not ruffle feathers, to not inconvenience people, to follow rules, right? There is still plenty of places in my life that I can follow rules, okay? Your girl is early to every single meeting because my anxiety does not allow me to be late. Like if you say I need to be somewhere, I'm going to be somewhere. There are plenty of places I can still be a rule follower, but when it comes to motherhood and creation, entrepreneurship in my business, no, we're not coloring in the lines. We're not staying in our lane. We're going to responsibly bring all of us to the table so that we can elevate all these industries. Like the therapy industry needs an evolution so bad. So many do. Like, oh my gosh, women were talking about, how they're an accountant, they're a CPA, but they're not just bringing that. They're also bringing human resources and like all of these other things that they've experienced owning their business or working for others to help their clients. So I feel like as we are elevating the way that we work with these new technologies, I think that we get to elevate the who, the how. And in this is the final one I want to share with you, is redefining success. So success doesn't need to look like a spreadsheet of numbers. Success is how you feel, how connected to your work you are, how connected to the people you love you are. What is the fulfillment? What is the freedom? What is the overall abundant package? How do you feel? What's your time freedom? What's your financial freedom? What's your opportunity freedom? What's your connection freedom? What's your self-care freedom? What's your creative freedom? All of those things matter now more than ever. But I think it's on us, you guys, as women in business. I think it's on us to be part of creating this new way of being and working. It's on us to trailblaze. But we can't trailblaze if we're following all the rules. And so if you're like me and you've always bumped up against the edges, it's because you were meant to trailblaze. It's not because you're a turd and a stinker and you want to cause problems. It's because you were meant to innovate. It's a positive thing. So do you see how we need to change the entire paradigm around this? What it is, how we see it, and how we get ourselves unstuck so that we can participate, right? If you're a teacher, are you bringing all of you to your students? If you're a corporate leader, are you bringing all of you to your team? Are you bringing your ideas to your upper management? Or are you, your partners? And if you're a founder, now's the time, ladies. Now is the time. We are going to trailblaze. We are going to innovate, and we are going to create so that we can make this world a better frickin' place for our children and our grandchildren. That is going to require parts of us that we have shut down because they've been shamed, like our bodies, our intuition, our creativity, our emotion. So we have a little bit of work to do. I'm happy to help you with that. But if we can, be unapologetically authentic, bring all of us to our work, creating a new lane, and come together, we are going to build some things that are really exciting. So the question that I want to leave you with today is the same question that Jen asked us. How are you breaking the rules? And I want you to begin to change your mindset around breaking the rules from a bad thing to an innovative thing. And I want you to notice what happens in your nervous system when you do this, because it's very common that you're going to contract and you're going to get stiff and your heart's going to beat faster and it's going to feel uncomfortable, because this goes against a lot of what we've seen and what we were taught. The sad truth is there's nowhere near enough women, millionaires and billionaires. There is nowhere near enough women entrepreneurs. I think it's less than 10%. We have research now that shows us that women, millionaires and billionaires do good with their wealth. They pour their wealth into their families, their communities, and causes. Men hoard the money. So I need you awake, turned on, turned up, unapologetically authentic, creating bad ass shit in the world so that you can get wealthy, so that we can drive change. And so that we can show the girls that come after us and the mothers that come after us that they can absolutely be have a fulfilling family life and personal life and professional life. It can be done, but the way that I do it is going to look different than the way that you do it. There isn't a formula. There isn't a balance. It's a journey of juggling all of it, right? And also accepting that sometimes it's more work heavy and sometimes it's more family heavy, and all of that is fine. But I feel personally a responsibility to show the younger generations that we can have both. You can have a meaningful work life where you are contributing and it feels good and it's fulfilling and it creates abundance in your life, and have such a juicy personal life that includes love and relationships and family and kids and self-care and retreats to Bali or whatever your jam is, honey. Okay? But we start with understanding the assignment. The assignment is we have to color outside of the lines to innovate at the level, at the speed of change right now. We have to innovate at the speed of change right now. And if our input is not included, then we're just going to create a whole nother system like the patriarchy that doesn't have mothers in mind, that doesn't have inclusion in mind, that doesn't have, the things that actually matter to us in mind. Are you going to still have to work hard? Yes. I have no qualms with working hard. But I don't think we have to work the way that we've worked in the past. I think we can have a blend of family and business. I think we can feel lit up about what we're doing and fulfilled. I think we can be messy and successful. I think we can make a lot of money and do good in the world. So let's get busy. Let's understand the assignment. Let's start getting to know who we are unapologetically so that we can create from that frequency. And if you need any help with that, reach out to me for some one-to-one coaching or get your fanny into the next round of Legend, which is going to start late August, early September. That's all I got for you today, my love. Hey babe, if you made it this far, I know you're serious about taking action and creating a life you actually love. Just by showing up, you're telling yourself and the universe, I matter. I'm ready. Let's go. So don't be surprised if things start shifting in your favor. If this episode moved you, do me a favor. Follow, rate, and review the show on Apple or Spotify, and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Brooke Jean Unperfected. It helps us reach more women, more mamas who are ready to do this work. And if something really landed, DM me on Instagram at Brooke Jean Unperfected or share a clip and tag me. I want to see what's moving through you and continue to support your journey. And hey, make sure you download my free guide, Get Unstuck. 5 therapeutic steps to take aligned action. All the links are in the show notes, and let's get you moving.